2 more cents in the past week to $4.55 a gallon on average for regular unleaded, with many places in California above that. The average price in San Francisco now for regular unleaded is $4.72 a gallon. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Experts say people will see a quick drop in prices almost immediately, but the larger impact will take a couple of weeks to level out. Vigil held last night in Waukesha, Wisconsin for the 5 people killed in the Christmas parade. 39-year-old Daryl Brooks is now facing 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Jury deliberation is expected to begin today in the trial of 3 white men accused of murdering black unarmed jogger Ahmaud Arbery in Brunswick, Georgia last year. Yes, they made a movie about this, and now it's really happening. NASA set to crash a spacecraft into an asteroid overnight.
The mission, known as the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, is set to launch just after midnight from California's Vandenberg Air Force Base, sending an unmanned craft the size of a car into space before slamming it into a rock the size of a football stadium. Experts say despite the size difference, the impact should be enough to alter the asteroid's trajectory.
ABC's Megan Terrizzi, the purpose is to test the technique to see if it's needed one day to save Earth from an asteroid collision. Wild scene at a WWE event in New York last night. A fan attacked wrestler Seth Rollins as Rollins was leaving the ring. Security guards finally had to jump in. This is ABC News.
Hundreds of thousands of people have said goodbye to their overpriced Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile plans and switched to Pure Talk. It's Jill Schlesinger. Did you know Pure Talk gives you the same great coverage on the same great 5G network as one of the big guys for about half the cost? The average family is saving over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or get huge discounts on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With U.S.-based customer service, Pure Talk treats their customers right. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Jill50 to save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, say Jill50. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless.
It's back to the stand today for Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes in her trial on fraud charges. It's her 3rd day on the stand answering defense questions. Prosecutors likely won't get a chance to question her until after Thanksgiving. Jury deliberations continue in Charlottesville, Virginia, in the federal civil trial over the deadly Unite the Right rally in 2017. 9 people are suing the white nationalist organizers over physical and emotional injuries, but the jury has already indicated it may have trouble reaching a unanimous decision on several of the allegations. Italy's antitrust watchdog hitting both Amazon and Apple with fines of $225 million. An investigation says they colluded to restrict sales of Apple and Beats headphones. Both companies say they will appeal. And decking the halls with a holiday centerpiece, the Christmas tree. It's definitely going to cost you more this year if you can even find a tree you like.
If you're looking to get a real Christmas tree this year, now is the time. Trees just went on sale at the Boys and Girls Club of Miami, and they're already a hot commodity. President Alex Rodriguez-Roy tells TV affiliate WPLG, you'll be paying more.
Price has gone up. There's no question. Price has gone up. Our shipping has gone up. So all those type of things affect the bottom line of how we get them here and what we're able to sell them here.
Companies that do holiday decorations are also having a hard time getting the trees they need. Lionel Moise, ABC News, Miami.
This is ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the risk.
Our cold front is now out of here. We have high pressure building, the high pressure system allowing those winds out of the north today, and cooler temperatures will be in place. We're going to struggle with our afternoon highs only climbing into the mid 40s and lower 50s tonight. Going to be a cold one with temperatures ranging in the low to mid 20s. Tomorrow, look for a high in the low to mid 50s. We have dry conditions and milder weather on tap for Thanksgiving Day. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We are still in the freezer locker here in Rutherford at 31. We started out at 30. We're at 31 now. Climbing up to 52, though, for a daytime high today in mostly sunny skies. That wind's going to be a factor again today, gusting to about 13 miles per hour. Tonight, dropping back to 22, colder than we are right now. So it's going to be a cold night and beautiful days in the neighborhood for the next few days, including Thanksgiving Day. Thank you for joining us this morning for the wake-up call here on WCAB. Glad you're here and up and at 'em already. 6 minutes after 7, I have these death announcements this morning. Tanya Collins Early, age 64, of Ellenboro, died Thursday, November the 18th at Adrium Health Cleveland Hospital in Shelby. The funeral service will be today at 3 o'clock at Race Path Baptist Church in Ellenboro. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Online condolences may be made at eggersfuneralhome.com for Tanya Collins Early. Jerry Michael Allen, 81, of Spindale, died Wednesday, November 17th at his home. Small graveside service will be held 2 p.m. Saturday, November 27th in Eternal Hills Memorial Park for a city. Following the service, the family will greet friends at Jerry's home in Spindale. Paget and King Mortuary in Crematory, serving the family of Jerry Michael Allen. Bo Lowry, age 80, of Forest City, passed away in his sleep on Saturday, November 20th at his home. A graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Wednesday, November 24th at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery, with military honors being accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The family will greet friends following the service at the graveside. Bo's body will lie in state from 1 until 6 on Tuesday at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services, serving the family of Bo Lowry. Skip Aldridge, 68, of Ellenboro, died Friday, November the 19th. A visitation will be held from 3:30 until 5:30 Saturday, December 4th at Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home. Military rites will be rendered on the grounds of the funeral home at 5:30 following the visitation by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service, serving the family of Skip Aldrich of Ellenboro. Charles Doc Wyatt, age 91, died Thursday, November the 11th in Millville, Utah. A memorial service will be held at 2 o'clock December 2nd at the Western Carolina Veterans Cemetery in Black Mountain. Military honors will be provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. And Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services is serving the family of Charles Doc Wyatt. Mrs. Virginia B. Sprague, age 93, of Cedartown, Georgia, passed away Sunday morning, November 21st. A graveside service is set to be held in Rutherford at the Mountain Creek Baptist Church Cemetery Monday, November the 29th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Crow's Mortuary and the Lester C. Lightsey Funeral Home working in conjunction with the family of Virginia B. Sprague. Mary Helen Vickers, age 87, of Forest City, died Friday, November the 19th at Fairhaven of Forest City. The funeral service will be held at 2 o'clock today at Crestview Baptist Church. Burial will follow at the Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Family will receive friends from 12:30 until 1:45 in the sanctuary prior to the service. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for Mary Helen Vickers. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. Complete information on these and others as they become available to us can be heard this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report right here on WCAB Rutherford.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Car repairs often feel like a lose-lose situation. The expensive payments and paperwork feel never-ending. But ever since I called Car Shield, that all gets handled for me. That's a win-win. I just select my favorite mechanic, and Car Shield's administrators do the rest. So get coverage today, and you'll see why Car Shield cars go farther. Please visit carshield.com/bill to save 10%. A deductible may apply. On this Tuesday, I am angry and appalled and somewhat shocked, and I don't shock easily, that over the weekend in San Francisco and environs, hundreds of thugs went into major department stores like Nordstrom's, Macy's, armed with hammers, mace, and other weapons, and looted, smashing cabinets, grabbing, running out in a mass display of theft. It happened in a number of places. Police did respond. But what good does that do when prosecutors in the San Francisco area will not even bring the cases against the looters? You don't think this just came out of nowhere? It used to be you went in, shoplifted or looted, you got sent to prison. That doesn't happen anymore in California because they've reimagined the justice system. And you know what the reimagining is? You do whatever you want, thug. You hurt anybody you want. You steal. You terrify people. And we're not going to prosecute you. This is the lowest point that I've seen in any criminal justice situation. And it's at the doorstep of the progressive left. If you are still supporting those people, you yourself are un-American. They are disgraceful across the board, and they're ruining this country. Now this. Investors, are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer steady monthly payouts plus double-digit annualized returns. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM, and now on FM at 100.9 FM.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
This is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. So put on a pot of coffee, sit down, and listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes. You just might learn something.
It was December of 1895 in Morenci, located in southeastern Arizona. Augustine Chacon and two other men stabbed and killed the manager of a local general store during a robbery. His killing was so bloody that Deputy Alex Davis was able to follow their bloody footsteps to a nearby house. As Deputy Davis approached the house, the three men were seen fleeing. A gun battle ensued with as many as 300 shots fired. The battle's result was the death of one of the locals and Chacon's two companions. Chacon was tried, found guilty, and sentenced to be hanged. But just days before his scheduled hanging, Chacon was able to dig through the adobe wall of the jail and escape. After 5 years of freedom and supposedly 4 more killings, Captain Bert Mossman of the Arizona Rangers illegally went across the border into Mexico and captured Chacon. When he was returned to Morenci, Chacon found the adobe walls of the jail had been replaced by steel. Finally, on November 21, 1902, the day came for Augustine Chacon to pay the price for his actions. At noon, he ate a large lunch. 2 hours later, freshly shaved and dressed in a suit, he walked up the stairs. Standing on the platform, Chacon, with a cup of coffee in one hand and a cigarette in the other, began a speech that lasted for 30 minutes. Following the speech, he said that it was time to hang and the trapdoor was sprung. He may have been a scoundrel during his life, but he did die like a gentleman. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James has added 2 new sandwiches to his already delightful menu, along with the fresh-cooked burgers, sandwiches, fresh salads, hot dogs made to order. Now try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Both come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford, or call 828-447-4644. And Mondays only, hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Now it's 7:16 on this terrific Tuesday morning. Let's head to the phones and get a report from the Sheriff's Department this morning. And Sheriff Chris Francis is on the line right now to give us an update. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. I guess you're all ready for Thanksgiving turkey.
Getting ready for it. I'm getting excited about it, to be honest with you. Seeing family and having a few good meals together. Looking forward to that blessing.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
It certainly is.
What's been going on with your department?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 145 calls for service. There have been 7 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 164. Among those arrested by the Sheriff's Office, Jason Adam Hill, 40-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with 4 counts of failure to appear and received a $750 secured bond. Michael Brent Faree, 29-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with possession of stolen goods and received a $10,000 secured bond. Zeb John Davis, 38-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with assault on a female, assault with a deadly weapon, communicating threats. We'll see a district court judge for bond. Jonathan David Pollock, 37-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $2,500 secured bond. Jason Wayne Dye, 41-year-old male of Chesney, was charged with failure to appear, possession of Schedule 4, and contributing to delinquency of a juvenile and received a $2,500 secured bond. Among our incidents, we had a recovery of a stolen vehicle. It was Sumner Road in Mooresboro. It's a 2008 Ford F-450. It was located there and had been reported by Shelby PD. I believe it was left around 5 o'clock in the morning. Appeared to be suspicious, and it was called in, and we were able to determine it was stolen out of Shelby Police Department's jurisdiction. We had a breaking and entering and larceny on Old Mooresboro Road. Looks like over a series of days, it was a PlayStation 4 valued at $350, a 42-inch TV valued at $350, a 27-inch Emerson TV valued at $125, miscellaneous tools valued at $300 that were taken in that incident. We also had an ID theft reported from Burgundy Place in Rutherford. The victim worked for Town of Spindale and was notified that someone had used his information to get fraudulent unemployment benefits. It looks like this was done online. We also had a break-in and larceny on Rock Corner Road in Forest City. It looks like a suspect was a relative and broke in and took some shotgun shells. We also had a larceny of mail, Leonard Lane, Elmborough. There were at least 2 packages that were taken. The victim came home and saw somebody, appeared to be a male wearing a hoodie, running away from the mailbox area, and noticed the mailbox was open, and also some packages that should have been delivered were not there. Jim, that's what we had to report at this time.
All right, I hope there's not a lot of that going on over the holidays. It's terrible to somebody steal people's Christmas packages.
That is frustrating. I hate to see packages like that delivered to a mailbox because it's basically a trust system, and it's just some people can't be trusted, Jim.
Yep, I hate to see that happen. Sheriff, I appreciate you being with us today. Thanks for the report, and you be safe out there today. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, and take care.
Bye-bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherford.
Here now is Kylie with the 911 Communication Center report. Kylie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
Good. What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 communications has processed 475 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 63 for EMS, 145 for the Sheriff's Office, 39 for Forest City, 6 for Lake Lure, 32 for Rutherford, 30 for Spindale. Bostic responded to a fire alarm. Ellenburg responded to a structure fire with cliff slide and sandy mush assisted. And Rutherford responded to 2 motor vehicle accidents. And that's all we've had.
Thanks, Kylie. You have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
And Andrew will be in the studio this morning about a little after 8 o'clock to talk more in depth about how you can handle your finances more positively. Now let's head over toward the SDO department and talk with Ruby Taylor to see what's been going on. How you doing, Ruby?
I'm doing okay.
Good. What's on the report?
Fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday counter I've got Shay Pardon and Matthew Marr and Senior Gregory having birthdays, and signs are in the breast today and going to the heart tomorrow. And Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. See you now.
Okay, and you too.
Bye.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
23 minutes after 7 o'clock here on WCAB. UNC and UNC Asheville on the basketball court tonight. We'll have that starting at 5:30 with the countdown. 6 o'clock pregame and 7 o'clock tip-off tonight. Join us for that action with UNC and UNC Asheville tonight. Here's Gary Wilson now reporting from Fairfield Mountains area and Bills Creek area on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Gary, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. A little nippy up here this morning, Jim.
It is nippy, yes.
Yeah, about 28 degrees, I believe. Last time I looked, it's a little chilly out there. Well, that's the first day we've had. It's been down below freezing in the morning so far, so can't complain too much about that.
I believe we have more coming this week, though. I believe every morning is going to be kind of chilly below freezing.
Yeah, it's going to be chilly about every day this week. Thanksgiving Day a little bit warmer, I think.
Yeah.
Then Friday's supposed to be even colder than it is now, so to get ready for the wintertime, I guess it's here, finally. And we've been quiet overnight so far, no calls or anything. Sitting on, like I said, sitting on about 28 degrees and waiting for the day to open up and maybe get a little sunshine out there. They warm things up a little bit. But other than that, that's about all we got up here this morning, Jim.
All right, Gary, thanks so much. You have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, talk to you then.
Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Let's check in now with Bostic reporter DeVern Upton is on the phone now to give us the news. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Hope you were doing great.
I'm doing great. We have 32 degrees in Bostic, kind of cold. The fire department reported to a fire alarm. And don't forget Thursday's Thanksgiving Day. And the Grace of God will be serving Thanksgiving meals at 11 o'clock. And stop by Whistle Stop Baker and get you some goodies for the Thanksgiving Day.
DeVern,
and hope everyone has a good one.
are you cooking a turkey for Thursday?
Yes.
All right.
Are you?
I'm not, no, but Faye is.
As long as I get some dressing, I'm happy.
I know what you mean. She'll invite me to come have some of that turkey when she gets it done.
Okay.
I think the family's coming in, so we're looking for a big day.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
You stay careful over there, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford-Ton.
Now at 7:25, we have 31 degrees here in Rutherford, and let's head over to Hudlow Fire District. Bob Hodge, good morning.
Well, good Tuesday morning.
How you doing?
We're doing just fine up here. It's sort of chilly around the edges this morning.
It is, yeah.
It's cold as a well digger's feet out here this morning.
Well, I tell you, it is cold out there, and I wrapped up this morning. Todd comes in with a short-sleeve shirt on. Can you believe that?
I don't know what's wrong with Todd there.
He must have tough skin.
I got a grandson the same way. He come over to the house just even was short on there. So they stay warm. I don't have that. I don't feel that warm anymore. The older you get, the chillier I get, I believe there.
I believe you're right.
But Jim, things are going along good up here this morning, and with the fire department, we've answered one medical call and want to say happy wedding anniversary to American Wanda Ashton this morning. And, Jim, that's about it up here in their neck of the woods, and maybe that sun will warm things up a little after a while.
I think we'll get up into the 50s sometime after a while. That'll be good.
Yeah. Well, looks like Thanksgiving's going to look pretty, so most of the day, so that's good.
Yeah, it's going to be nice weather. Look, we may have to get us up a horseshoe pitching contest going on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, I hadn't done that in quite a while. I might ring my own foot with it or something there when I sling it. Oh.
Listen, Bob, you have a great day up there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Well, if you care about your health and conditioning, you'll be happy to know about the Black Friday sale at Lifestyle Wellness and Spa. New members can purchase a paid-in-full one-year gold membership for only $2.99. That includes all amenities such as the pool, hot tub, sauna, classes, and more. One-year silver membership is only $1.99, limited to weights and machines. Lifestyle Wellness and Spa is safe and clean. This is an excellent Black Friday sale, and you should join up soon or make a gift for someone you care about. Lifestyle accepts silver sneakers and silver fit also, and remember, you can join Lifestyle for just $1 and no dues until January 2022. Contact them at 248-2947 or check them out on Facebook. Here's Sue now reporting from the Cherry Mountain Fire District on this beautiful morning. Sue, how you doing?
Good morning, Jim. I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Good. It's a pretty morning over here.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're going to have a nice day and a little bit chilly, but that's okay. Let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have anything on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I got a birthday for Siri Setzer. And on First Broads, I've got James C. Brackett, and Fairview has an anniversary for Walt and Barb Thomas. So I hope all these people have a good day on their birthday and anniversary, and we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. Looks like they've got a beautiful day for it. And in my announcements, the Piney Mountain Boys will be singing at Nuggets Creek Church Sunday the 28th. And on December the 12th, First Broad is going to be having their Christmas program. So, getting that time of year, a lot of stuff going on. Just looking forward to all the activities and getting to be out a little bit. And I guess that's about all I have this morning, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over here looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks, Sue. You too, and I will see you back here tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Well, if you've driven through downtown Forest City, you know they're gearing up for another beautiful Hallmark Christmas. Hallmark movie set during the holiday season. In fact, RomanticAsheville.com calls it the #1 Christmas town in the greater Asheville area and the #2 place to see Christmas lights in western North Carolina. Thanksgiving night is going to be a big kickoff, November 25th, with the annual tree lighting ceremony near the fountain. The ceremony begins at 6 and features live music from In His Glory Christmas concert. At 7 p.m., Mayor Steve Holland and his special guests will flip the switch to turn on over 1 million Christmas lights. The skating rink will be open. Ice skating is $8 a person and includes skates. And many of the Main Street merchants will be open, so come out, support local, and get an early start on your holiday shopping this year in downtown Forest City. All right, let's turn our attention now to Jessica, who's busy cooking breakfast. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good. You busy?
I am. Everybody come on down and see us this morning. We got breakfast cooking. We got bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits. We got sausage biscuits, gravy biscuits. We got breakfast pizza. A lot of people have come in and asked me what I got on my breakfast pizza. It's got bacon, egg, cheese, sausage. You can get a hunk for $3.19, or you can get 2 hunks for $6.19, or you can get a whole for $10.99. So everybody come on down and see us this morning. Remember, we do have a meat department. They do have turkeys, and they do have, I think they have one ham left, but we have our truck coming in tomorrow morning, and I'm pretty sure they ordered more ham. So if you're looking for a ham or a turkey for this Thanksgiving, come on down to the drop-in, and they will get you fixed up. We'll have our truck come in tomorrow morning. We'll have fresh produce, milk. If you're looking to get like your stuff for your Thanksgiving dinner, come on down. We should have it. If we don't, we'll try to figure out something. Our hours for the rest of the week, we'll be open regular time tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Thursday, the deli will be closed. The store will be open. I'm thinking the store opens up at 8 o'clock, and they will close down at 6 p.m. Thursday, Thanksgiving. And then Friday, the deli will be open from 6 to 4. And the store will be open regular time from 6 to 9 p.m. So we do look forward to seeing everybody, and I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm glad you're going to get a day off on Thanksgiving Day. That'll be great.
Yes, most definitely.
Listen, you have a great Thanksgiving, and thanks for talking with us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. High school, no, not high school, UNC basketball tonight. UNC and UNC Asheville, two UNC teams playing together tonight. It's a 7 o'clock tip-off. Basketball will have that action for you right here on the most sports for the foothills, 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB. All right, let's go up to Shingle Hollow now and get Tina on the phone and see what's been going on. Tina, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing well this morning.
Good.
How are you doing? How are you?
Hello.
Hello. So you're doing good too?
Doing great, thanks. Yeah, we sort of had it's sort of delayed in the response. I didn't know if the phone died or not.
No. It's cold up here.
Yeah,
so maybe that's play.
Yeah, maybe.
28 degrees.
That's chilly.
The fire departments were quiet the past 24 hours, but I missed yesterday morning, and over the weekend they had 3 calls, a structure fire, woods fire, and a fire alarm that they responded to in Shingle Hollow, and they assisted Green Hill. So they were real busy over the weekend, but the past 24 hours they've been quiet, so we're thankful for that. Birthday calendars this morning. Today is a very special day here at the White House in Shingle Hollow.
Yeah.
Because it is my sweetheart, my sweetie's birthday today.
No way.
So Steve White, somebody out there, he's not listening because he's at work, but anybody who knows Steve and wants to call him and tell him happy birthday, go ahead and do that for me. And there's another birthday, my little cousin, Allie Tavernet, and she's supposed to be listening this morning. She turns 10, double digits.
Oh, wow.
And Lonnie Lewis is on Piney Knob Baptist Church calendar for a birthday today. So, Lonnie, I hope you have a wonderful birthday. And if you know him, call him too. So, for announcements, White House Community Clubhouse every Saturday between now and Christmas has their turkey shoot at 11 a.m. And they invite anyone to come out who wants to be involved in the turkey shoot. And Pleasant Grove Baptist Church this tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., is having a community-wide Thanksgiving Thanksgiving message, and then there will be soup and chili afterwards. And Pilgrim's Way Baptist Church is having their 10th annual After Thanksgiving Jubilee. Starts November 29th, which is next Monday, through December 3rd. They're going to have messages at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. each day. They're excited. They've prayed it up, and they're ready to jubilee. And that's all I've got going on right now in this beautiful part of the world.
All right, Tina, you doing better?
I am feeling better.
Good, good. Able to walk a little bit better?
Yes, praise the Lord, I am able to walk. It's wonderful.
Good, good. Well, hang in there. Go ahead.
Yesterday I had a migraine that was just yesterday morning early, and I fell asleep, and I missed the call yesterday morning, but I was up just during the night. I don't know, maybe allergies. I'm not usually a person who gets migraines, but I definitely had one yesterday.
Well, I'm glad you're better today.
Yes, and thank you for bearing with me and not telling me, hey, you're not answering the phone.
Well, we knew something must have turned up. You're always very faithful. Be there.
Well, I appreciate what you do. I love that the community has this service and that you provide it, and I thank you very much. And everybody out there, have a wonderful Thanksgiving week. Find something to be thankful for, and be safe, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.
Okay.
That's Tina White in Shingle Hollow this morning, 7:41. We got another couple of calls to make. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled A-R-Y-E-E. And here's Brenda Calley up in Union Mills, and Brenda spelled B-R-E-N-D-A. Brenda Calley, good morning.
Well, good morning. You can spell.
Yes, I can most days. Some days I can't.
Some days I can't neither.
I got spell check on my computer. It really helps me a lot.
That's good. That's good, yeah. You having a good day?
I am, yes.
That's good. I had a call yesterday evening late from your friend Bud Byers.
Oh yeah, well good.
And he said to tell you that he had promoted me up to a doctor. He said you'd get a life out of that. Something to do with vitamin B12.
Yeah. Oh, Bud's a mess, isn't he?
He is. I said, okay, I'm glad to know that I'm Dr. Brenda now. Well, let's see. I've got 28 degrees on the front porch. Birthdays today. I've got Sean Kelly and Amy Harkrader. And then ways of announcements, Friday, December the 3rd at the Union Mills Learning Center, 6 p.m. You're going to have a ham and turkey meal, and it's $7. Then at 7 p.m., Homegrown will open the music program. Deep Roots, which is the Jackson family, will also play. No admission, but they have a tip jar available for the band. And that Jackson family, bless her heart, yesterday I think I called them Beet Roots. I thought she said beet, but it was deep, so I went down on the mailbox and she'd left me a note, and it's deep. So that's Deep Roots, which is the Jackson family. And I don't think I have anything else going on that I know of. That's all they are. So it's short, sweet, calm, and we like it, and cold.
Yeah.
Did I give my temperature?
I don't know if you did or not. No, I don't believe you did.
28 degrees on the front porch.
That's cold.
That's cold. I think that's the same thing that Tina had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold. But that's all right. It's time of year to be cold, ain't it?
It'll warm up in June.
I hear you. Well, you better go check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good one. Catch you later.
Bye-bye. And we'll do that. We'll check on the Ellenboro Reporter here in just a few moments. Let me remind you a couple of things. Those of you that depend on these things. This Second Harvest Mobile Food Truck will be Friday, December the 10th at Isotherm Community College. Please arrive between 8 and 8:30. Distribution will begin no later than 10 a.m., but you must arrive early to participate. This will be the last mobile food truck hosted through Chase Corner until March 2022. Next year, they'll have to only coordinate 6 mobile food trucks since participation decreased drastically this year. The schedule will be published each quarter instead of a year's list. Plans are to host one in March in Cliffside, one in May in Forest City, one in July in Bostic area, one in August in Spindale, and one in Rutherford in October, and one in December in Spindale at ICC. So please listen to the radio, and we'll give you all that information. But right now, the next one is coming up December the 10th at Isothermal Community College. To receive food from any truck, you must be a Rutherford County resident and meet low-income guidelines for USDA. Now we're heading over toward the Ellenboro Department of Good Intentions, and Luther Gilligan is on the phone to give us a report. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, too. We're staying cool down here.
I bet you are.
But hey, I'm inside drinking coffee, watching the sun come up. I'm having a good time.
How many cups of coffee do you drink every morning?
Mostly just one.
Do you?
I have to get up and go to work. Can't sit around and drink coffee all day.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know. But it's quiet out this morning. Nothing going on. Everything's peaceful. Everybody just getting their gas and they're heading on out to work. Fire department had 2 medical calls yesterday. Other than that, they were quiet last night. And this morning, just nothing going on there. So you have a great day up there. We'll see what happens today. Tell you about it in the morning.
Thanks, Luther. You have a good one.
All right, take care.
That's the Gilligan Report from Ellenboro, and that wraps the news up for this county. A couple more departments we'd like to hear from if you would be eligible and be willing to report to us from your fire district. Your community would love it and appreciate it, and we would too. Now it's time for birthdays and anniversaries for this 23rd day of November. You can call that into us. Todd's receiving your call at 287-3356, 287-3356, and we will announce your birthday, give you a big shout out, and everybody will be happy to know that you live to see another one. Meanwhile, if you're thinking about lunch, if you're thinking about breakfast, lunch, or supper, you can always think those 3 meals and know that if you go to Granny B's and get one of them or more, you'll be happy. They serve breakfast now. Yeah, they got breakfast with biscuits and gravy and ham and liver mush, and you can fix it, have them fix it the way you like it. They get plenty of fresh, delicious gourmet coffee. You'll enjoy that. And if you like their lunch, delicious subs, and you can fix that any way you want it. And then, of course, the subs bring on another thought, the delicious Granny B's pizza. My goodness. And then those delicious, can I say, daylight donuts? Can I say that without my mouth watering? Don't know, but Granny B's got it going on over there in Spindale. So try breakfast this morning. They're right beside the Shake Shop there in Spindale.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday wishes going out to Paul Tony. Paul's 49, lives over in the Bostic area. And April Short is 29 over in Forest City. This is National Espresso Day, Eat a Cranberry Day, and National Cashew Day. Is that cashew? I love cashews. Birthdays today also include Franklin Pierce, born in 1804. He was the 14th U.S. president, died in 1869. Billy the Kid was born in 1859, died in 1881, allegedly. Boris Karloff was born in 1887, died in 1969, allegedly. Harpo Marx, born in 1888, he died in 1964. He was one of the Marx brothers. 1992, Miley Cyrus was born. She's still living. Events include debut of the first jukebox was 1889. I didn't know it went back that far. Of Mice and Men premiered in New York City in 1937. Debut of Doctor Who, 1963. And A Christmas Carol starring George C. Scott premiered in 1984. And 10 millionth cellular telephone sold in 1992. So now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB. Keys to Confident Living is next.
The opening part of Ephesians 3:16 says, I pray that God may strengthen you with power in your inner being. One of our family friends wrote me not long ago and related how God had helped us strengthen her faith through a difficult circumstance. She writes, our youngest son became very ill with asthma. We didn't have enough money to take him to the doctor, but he needed medical treatment. We had an old Volvo station wagon parked in the back weeds behind our home that had been there for 2 years. I was on my husband's back all the time to take it to the junkyard, but still it sat there. Well, the very day that we needed to take our son to the doctor, someone came walking down our alley and asked about the car. They offered us $50. We took the offer and thanked God because now we had the money to cover the doctor's visit and medication. Part of our prayer for inner strength may be answered through various trials and tests. If things were always easy, our spiritual muscles would become atrophied and weak. Just as an athlete works out to build up muscle and endurance, so we as God's children are also tested in the competitions of life. The Bible writer James says, consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM and now on FM.
I'm Sherry Preston. Gas prices averaging $3.40 a gallon across the country, about $1.30 a gallon more than just a year ago. To help alleviate it, President Biden will this afternoon announce that the White House is tapping into the nation's oil stockpile, 50 million barrels set to be released from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Experts say that news of this announcement alone is likely to be enough to prompt a short-term drop in oil prices, but it's really going to take about 2 weeks for Americans to really see this as these prices trickle down to stations around the country.
ABC's chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega says other countries, including Japan, China, the UK, and India, are also releasing some of their stockpile as well. The man who police say plowed his SUV into the Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, is facing 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Among those killed, 3 members of a dance troupe called the Dancing Grannies. 6 children also remain in critical condition. ABC's Alex Perez has more on the suspect, 39-year-old Daryl Brooks.
Police say this isn't the first time Brooks is accused of using a car as a weapon. Earlier this month, he was arrested for allegedly using what appears to be that same SUV to run over the mother of his child after allegedly striking her with a closed fist. Brooks was charged in that incident but released when he posted bail $1,000.
Rebuttal arguments are all that's left before the jury in the Ahmaud Arbery trial begins deliberating. ABC's Steve Osunsami is in Brunswick, Georgia.
This has been difficult for all of the families to sit in court and hear, especially for the family of Ahmaud Arbery. Wanda Cooper, his mother, had to listen yesterday as one of the defense lawyers made unfortunate comments about her son's appearance. It was all too much, and she had to leave the courtroom.
NASA undertaking an historic mission later tonight. They will launch a rocket into space that's designed to collide with an asteroid. It's a practice run in case the Earth really is ever threatened with an asteroid collision. You're listening to ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes set for a 3rd day on the stand at her trial on fraud charges. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
The hope is that we will have something of a verdict before Christmas. The jury, the 12 members of this jury, are not sequestered. They are going about their lives, and there's an acknowledgement among the legal experts I speak to that once you get into the holiday period, you really create issues with people going back home, spending time with families, that potential for hearing something, and then the greater potential for a mistrial.
At least 45 people killed in a bus crash in Bulgaria.
The picture at the scene, terrifying. The words of Bulgarian Interior Minister Boyko Rashkov. The accident happened in the middle of the night. Bus carrying North Macedonians home from a tourist trip to Istanbul crashed and caught fire in western Bulgaria. Many children were among the victims. The cause not immediately clear. It appears the vehicle hit a highway guardrail. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Families of most of the victims of the deadly attack at the high school in Parkland, Florida, have reportedly reached a $127 million settlement with the federal government. The lawsuit over the FBI's failure to stop the shooting, even though it had some prior warning that it might happen. Up for auction today, a manuscript from Albert Einstein detailing the equations for his theory of relativity. It's expected to sell for over $3 million. This is ABC News.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Expect a lot of sunshine heading into the afternoon with high pressure in control. We're going to stay bright today with a lot of sunshine, but those temperatures are going to be on the chilly side, only climbing into the mid-40s and lower 50s for today, so definitely keep those puffy coats with you throughout the entire day. Overnight will fall into the low to mid-20s with lighter wind speeds around and mostly clear skies. We're going to cool off quickly. We do have highs warming up tomorrow into the low to mid-50s with dry conditions on tap on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
I don't see any rain in the forecast all the way through Monday of next week on the 29th. Mostly sunny on Monday with highs around 51, wind gusting to about 13 miles per hour. Now, each day this week looks like the wind's going to be a factor because it's going to be gusting on Saturday up to 10 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour on Sunday, then again on 13 miles per hour on Monday. And Thanksgiving Day, as she mentioned, is a high around 61 with a mild wind on Thursday. And Thursday night, light wind and lows around 35. Beautiful Thanksgiving week here in the foothills, and we hope you'll make your plans to get out and enjoy as much of it as you can with family and friends. Maybe bring them downtown Forest City for the lighting of the trees and the Christmas concert by In His Glory. We'd love to see you there. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, Andrew Tisdale is with us coming up next.
Our biggest holiday deals are on now at Carolina West Wireless's Keep On Giving event. Save $400 on the new Samsung Galaxy S21, S21 Plus, or S21 Ultra when you sign up for select unlimited plans. Give the gift of better connection to everyone on your holiday shopping list with unlimited data that keeps on giving all year long. Just $35 a month per line for 4 lines. Receive a $100 Fanatic C code with any new activation on our premium unlimited plan. Hurry in to Carolina West Wireless to celebrate deals that keep on giving. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Well, it's Tuesday morning, and that means Andrew Tisdale is due in the Blue Room, and ladies and gentlemen, he's here in person today. He's with Andrew Jones, making sense of investing, and he's right here in the Blue Room to talk to us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
I knew that. I just thought you might be better.
You ready for Thursday?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, you chasing the turkey around, hadn't caught it yet?
I hadn't caught it.
Yeah.
I hadn't caught it. I didn't decide if I wanted turkey or barbecue.
Really? Either one of those we get.
I know a lot of people now is actually eating more barbecue than turkey.
Ham's good on Thanksgiving.
Ham, yeah. So is it pork or poultry?
That's right. That's right. Well, have some of both.
I guess on Thanksgiving you can, can't you?
As long as you got plenty of fruit salad and dressing and gravy, it's anything's good, right?
And then you got to burn it off and watch what you eat until for a month.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it comes back.
You'll take Friday off anyway, won't you?
I will be taking Friday off, Thursday and Friday.
Run a little bit.
I will run, walk, do something.
That'd be great.
But I don't know if I'll get as many calories burned as I will eat. I'll have to admit.
That'll be hard to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're a disciplined individual, you probably could do what you want to do.
Yeah, I'll do what I want to do.
What you got on your mind today?
Question that I get a lot of times is, so should I start investing or should I pay off my debt? That is a very good question, but it's pretty simple, but there's a lot of factors that are involved. So let's think about what we're talking about. Should I pay off my mortgage or should I start investing? What is your actual mortgage rate? If your mortgage rate is 6 or 7%, why not just refinance it and then invest what you're saving on that? So that's one of the questions one of the questions I ask back. What is your mortgage rate? Now here's one where I always say, let's get this paid off. Think about credit cards. If you're paying a credit card debt that is 14 and 15%, even though we've had a few good years that we earned that in the market, that's not a guarantee. Think about this. If you pay your credit card debt off, you're saving yourself 14 to 15% return on that money. The best investment you could do in that situation is pay off your credit card debt. And what about my car? Another way to look at that is we're always going to have to drive a car. So are you putting all of your money, and is that money going straight into that car, which is sinking in value? If it is, let's get that car paid off, and then let's readjust and think about what to do with that extra money also. But always remember, you're going to have to buy a car sometime. So should I put all my money in investing from the car? No, I need to put back for a car. So should I pay off my debt first or invest? What kind of debt are we talking about? Look at what your money does. You are in control of your money. Talking about discipline. There's 2 ways to build wealth. Use time and use discipline. And paying off debt takes a discipline to be able to build that wealth, just as investing.
Good advice. Always thinking, aren't you?
Always thinking.
To help your clients.
To help my clients, to help Rutherford County.
There you go. And you'll find Andrew Tisdale in Rutherford at 173 Railroad Avenue. And that phone number is 287-9197. It's prefix, of course, 828-287-9197. If you have any questions about making sense of your investing, he'll be the man to contact.
Thank you, sir.
Hope to see you next week, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You have a happy Thanksgiving.
Have a lot to be thankful for, don't we?
Have a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah. I'm glad we recognize.
And thankful that I'm here today.
I'm too.
And I'll be here Tuesday.
Good. See you. Have a good one. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock, 9:05 this morning is My Great America with Jim and Butch. It's coming up live here in the studio this morning. And talking about Thanksgiving, we have some things to relate to you about Thanksgiving coming up either today or tomorrow, depending on how time goes. And we hope indeed that you will make it, even if you don't have a family surrounding you, find some way to find yourself a little corner. If you don't have a turkey, just open up a can of potted meat or something, a treat, and have yourself a nice Thanksgiving solid lunch and spend some time being thankful. I'll be back with some news from here and there in just a moment.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines, and November is Diabetes Month. Get 10% off diabetic socks for the month of November at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Now let's look at some stories from here. The Daily Courier is reporting, and many of you were there, the 30th Annual Ellenboro Fiddlers and Bluegrass Convention was held this past Saturday at Ellenboro Elementary School with nearly 10 acts performing. Over 150 music fans attended the convention that was canceled last year due to the pandemic. The host band this year was New Ground Riders. Awards were presented in 9 different categories. In the Best Banjo category, Hunter Motts claimed first place, while Trey Hodge, Roger Holland, and Andrew Bivens rounded out the top 4. Jamie Spratt was the winner of the Best Fiddle category, with Carter McGinnis finishing second. In the Best Mandolin category, Jacob Jackson finished first. Louise Hughes placed second, while Daniel Schrotz finished third and Gabriel Wiseman finished fourth. Clint Groves was awarded first place in the Best Guitar category, or should I say guitar category. James Henson finished second. Austin Simmons placed third, and Avery Jones finished fourth. In the Best Bass category, Mike Street claimed first place. Ryan Wilson, Gary Epley, and Terry Bridges rounded out the top 4. Andrew Dowling won first place in the Best Dobro category. Alex Hamilton finished second, and Danny Hargis placed third. Kevin Street won first prize in the Best Vocal category. Alex Hamilton, Clint Groves, and Ben McCurry rounded out the top 4. And in the Best Band category, Retro 78 won first place, finishing just ahead of New Primitive and the Banjo. Fourth place was split between Midnight Ride and the Piney Mountain Boys. New Primitive was named the People's Choice Band, and the Ellenboro Fiddlers and Bluegrass Convention began 30 years ago and is the only competition bluegrass event in Rutherford County. The proceeds from the event supported Ellenboro Elementary School, and thanks to all of you who went out and supported that event. A former school substitute teacher has been arrested after investigators say she sent inappropriate photos and videos to students. The Crest Middle School substitute teacher allegedly sent inappropriate images, videos to students. On Thursday, Emily Durden, a former substitute teacher at Crest Middle School, was arrested on 2 counts of indecent liberties with a student, 3 counts of displaying material harmful to a minor, and 2 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. She was booked in the Cleveland County Slammer and posted a $50,000 bond the next day. According to the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office, on November the 18th, the school resources officer at Crest Middle School was notified by a parent that Durden had possibly been sending their child inappropriate images and videos. The Sheriff's Office initiated an investigation and discovered Durden allegedly initiated conversations and shared sexually explicit materials with several 13 and 14-year-old students. As part of the investigation, Durden was interviewed and reportedly admitted to sending the sexually explicit videos and pictures. Durden worked as a substitute teacher from November the 8th through the 17th. She was paid $80 each day she substituted. The investigation is still ongoing, and investigators are working to discover if any other children received messages from Durden. Investigators are asking parents who believe their child was victimized by Durden to contact the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office at 704-484-4888. Well, today, yesterday was the 303rd anniversary of the death of a man who remains one of North Carolina's most infamous residents. Anybody have any idea who that was? Edward Teach, also known as Blackbeard, was killed off the Outer Banks on November the 22nd, 1718, during a bloody battle with a British Navy force sent from Virginia. In May of 1718, according to the History Channel, Teach's flagship Queen Anne's Revenge and another boat were shipwrecked, forcing Blackbeard to desert a third ship and most of his men because of lack of supplies. At the request of the North Carolina planters, Governor Alexander Spotswood of Virginia sent a British naval force to North Carolina to deal with Blackbeard. Blackbeard's forces were defeated, and he was killed in a bloody battle off Ocracoke Island. He was somewhere between 35 to 40 years old at his death, and so today is a history of the day. Yes, or rather, yesterday was the history of the day that happened. Well, as we sit down to Thanksgiving dinner, many of us will give thanks for the chance to spend time with family and friends and for the indulgent meal. But inflation will take the first bite, making Thanksgiving 2021 the most expensive in history. Many factors are in play, including supply chain issues, higher transportation expenses, labor shortages, and bad weather. The cost for food was up 4.6% in September, according to the Consumer Price Index. This year, the Farm Bureau's 36th annual survey found that this year's Thanksgiving meal for 10 cost an average of $53.31, or less than $6 per person. This is a 14% increase from last year's average. The turkey in particular cost more than last year at $23.99 for a 16-pound bird. That's up 24% from last year. Dinner rolls are expected to cost more due to the increased costs for ingredients. Things like cranberry sauce are also expected to be higher due to labor shortages. Glass bottles stuck on cargo ships, and steel prices 200% more than before the pandemic. That's due to China's limit of steel production to reduce carbon emissions. Wooden pallets and cardboard containers, items farmers use to transport their crops from the field to distributors, are either more expensive or harder to find. The centerpiece of the meal, the turkey, is also expected to cost more. According to an October report from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, turkeys between 8 and 16 pounds are costing 25 cents per pound more compared to a year ago. Turkeys between 16 and 24 pounds are about 21 cents more expensive. Turkeys are classified as hen or female and typically range from 10 to 12 pounds. Toms or males are usually 20 pounds and up. Well, it seems market analysts say that by year's end, prices per pound are expected to surpass the Department of Agriculture's benchmark record price of $1.36 set in 2015. One of the factors for the price increase is corn, which most commercial turkeys feed on. It has more than doubled in price from a year ago in some parts of the country. North Carolina, second in the nation for total turkey production, including a Butterball, headquartered in Garner, and Prestige Farms, headquartered in Clinton, hasn't been immune to national trends either. Bob Ford, executive director of the North Carolina Poultry Federation, said, quote, "No one really knew how to handle the COVID thing. When workers stopped coming to the plants, we cut back on production, so we ended up cutting back on the number of birds we placed in the field on the farms, and it had a domino effect. We now are still trying to catch up on the impact of 2020. You should still be able to find a bird, but matching its size to your needs could be the problem. It may be that instead of turkey, you may want to get a chicken and pretend it's a turkey. Maybe open up a can of liver mush or a jar of liver mush or something and call that a turkey. And enjoy that as well if you can't find a turkey. I hope you can." Well, a former North Carolina education administrator has reached an agreement with his former school system to pay back more than $30,000 of unauthorized travel expenses he accumulated during his time in office. The Nash County Board of Education announced last Thursday in a written statement that it reached a settlement with former Superintendent Shelton Jeffries, the Rocky Mount Telegraph reported. According to the statement, Jeffries has provided receipts in the amount of $14,330.70 for some of the expenses and agreed to reimburse the school board in the amount of $30,324.92 for the remainder. Roughly $25,000 will be paid as part of the settlement. Jeffries already paid the other $5,324.92 to the school district, according to the newspaper. The Nash County Board learned in the spring of 2019 that procurement cards and district vehicles were misused. The report from the Office of the State Auditor said Jeffries violated multiple policies related to the cards and his vehicle. Jeffries resigned in August. 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. The Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Chris Francis coming up in just a moment. We'll be back with more and the real story of what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. Not what the evil media told you, but some of the real things. We'll talk about it when we get back. Could you use an extra $8,000, maybe $1,500 or $500? Your opportunity to brighten things up this year is here. The 2021 Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce raffle tickets are now available. Only 500 tickets will be sold, and you could win $8,000, $1,500, or $500. 3 winners and tickets are available now at the Chamber office, Main Street, Rutherfordton, and here at WCAB. Our Chamber board members have them. The drawing this year will be held December 17th, live on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM at 8:10, and it will be live streamed. Be a part of supporting the Chamber with your purchase of a raffle ticket. Tickets are $50, and the chances of winning $8,000, $1,500, or $500 are phenomenal. Have some fun. Buy a ticket and listen for the winning number. December 17th at 8:10. You know what? It could be you. Now here is Sheriff Chris Francis with our report.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 145 calls for service. There have been 7 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 164. Among those arrested by the Sheriff's Office, Jason Adam Hill, 40-year-old male of Rutherford, charged with 4 counts of failure to appear and received a $750 secured bond. Michael Brent Faree, 29-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with possession of stolen goods and received a $10,000 secured bond. Zeb John Davis, 38-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with assault on a female, assault with a deadly weapon, communicating threats. We'll see a district court judge for bond. Jonathan David Pollock, 37-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $2,500 secured bond. Jason Wayne Dye, 41-year-old male of Chesney, was charged with failure to appear, possession of Schedule 4, and contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile, and received a $2,500 secured bond. Among our incidents, we had a recovery of a stolen vehicle. It was Sumner Road in Mooresboro. It's a 2008 Ford F450. It was located there and had been reported by Shelby PD. I believe it was left around 5 o'clock in the morning. Appeared to be suspicious, and it was called in, and we were able to determine it was stolen out of the Shelby Police Department's jurisdiction. We had a break-in entering in largely on Old Mooresboro Road. Looks like over a series of days, it was a PlayStation 4 valued at $350, a 42-inch TV valued at $350, a 27-inch Emerson TV valued at $125, miscellaneous tools valued at $300 that were taken in that incident. We also had an ID theft reported from Burgundy Place in Ruston. The victim worked for Town of Spindale and was notified that someone had used his information to get fraudulent unemployment benefits. It looks like this was done online. We also had a break-in and larceny on Rock Corner Road in Forest City. It looks like a suspect was a relative and broke in and took some shotgun shells. We also had a larceny of mail in Leonard Lane, Ellenboro. There were at least 2 packages that were taken. The victim came home and saw somebody, appeared to be a male wearing a hoodie, running away from the mailbox area, and noticed the mailbox was open, and also some packages that should have been delivered were not there. Jim, that's what we had to report at this time.
We're in North Carolina, and good guy, and I feel badly for him.
Bauckham kept in the hospital overnight. He'll be going back to Charleston with the team this morning. Also in action last night, Delaware downing App State 75-68 in the Gulf Coast Showcase. Toledo topped UNC Charlotte 98-86. That game played in the Bahamas. On the pro court, Terry Rozier scored a season-high 32 points and hit his 8th three-pointer of the game with 12.9 seconds to go as the Hornets beat the Wizards in Washington 109-103. Head coach James Borrego on the big win on the road.
For us to close out on a road like this against a very good team is growth for us. We've lost this game here in the past, even going back to last season, the end of last season. We've grown up, and I think tonight was a sign that we've grown up. For Melo to control the game, Terry to control the game. Nobody was rattled. There was great poise out there. Just a great growth step for our young team. LaMelo Ball had 28 points and 13 rebounds last night to help Charlotte in winning the 6th game out of their last 7. This is NCN Sports.
The holiday season is right around the corner. So give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. Give them a Stihl. From powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws under the tree to branded accessories stuffed in their stockings, the Stihl Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Visit your local Stihl dealer or go to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. Available at participating dealers while supplies last. Stihl outdoor power tools may be hard to wrap, but once they get opened, you'll see why Stihl is so easy to give. Find the right gift this year with battery power made by Stihl. From mowers and blowers to trimmers and chainsaws, our AK Homeowner series of battery tools starts at just $199.99. Shop now by visiting your local Stihl dealer or going to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. All prices MSRP. Available at participating dealers while supplies last.
On the ice, Alexander Bobberov scored with 3:18 left in overtime, and the San Jose Sharks handed Carolina just their 3rd loss of the season, 2-1 in overtime. Despite the OTL, head coach Rod Brindamore couldn't find much to complain about.
It was a good game. We played well. They played good. I mean, it's one of those things where we just didn't get pucks through, but we were trying to do the right things. Other than that, I thought we had a solid game. You got to take what they give you, and we did. We just didn't capitalize.
The NFL wrapped Week 11 with the Giants versus the Bucs in Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football. Tom Brady threw for 307 yards and 2 scores as the Bucs beat the Giants 30-10. The Super Bowl champ snapping a 2-game losing streak as Brady avoided dropping 3 in a row for the first time since 2002. Former Duke QB Daniel Jones threw a touchdown pass to left tackle Andrew Thomas and kept the Giants in it for one half before they finally unraveled. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Expect a lot of sunshine heading into the afternoon with high pressure in control. We're going to stay bright today with a lot of sunshine, but those temperatures are going to be on the chilly side, only climbing into the mid-40s and lower 50s for today, so definitely keep those puffy coats with you throughout the entire day. Overnight will fall into the low to mid-20s with lighter wind speeds around and mostly clear skies. We're going to cool off quickly. We do have highs warming up tomorrow into the low to mid-50s with dry conditions on tap on Thursday. Meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We now have broken out of the freezer locker, folks. It's now 34 degrees. We started out 30, 31. Now we're up to 34, just chunking our way out of that freezer locker up to a day of about 52 degrees with sunny skies throughout the area. So a beautiful day in the neighborhood as we approach Thanksgiving Day. Well, I've got good news for you, my friends. Our good friend Rick Hauser over at the grocery store told me to tell you that he has plenty of turkeys over there. Yep. Jay's Discount Grocery, plenty of turkeys, and he'd love you to come by and be happy again. Don't have to search anywhere. He's got turkeys galore. Glad to find that out. He heard the story a while ago about how they might be a little hard to find. He's got them at Jay's Discount Grocery. Go by and get your turkeys while they're there. Good news for you. So now you don't have to go. You don't have to open that can of sardines or whatever you want to open up and pretend it's a turkey. You can have a real turkey if you get over there real soon. Jay's Discount Grocery in Forest City. Well, that is good news. Meanwhile, Target, I'm not a Target shopper, so it doesn't mean much to me, but Target is going to keep stores closed on Thanksgiving for good. They will no longer open its store on Thanksgiving Day, making permanent a shift to the unofficial start of the holiday season that was suspended during the pandemic. To limit crowds in stores, retailers last year were forced to turn what had become a weekend shopping blitz into an extended event with holiday sales beginning as early as October. That forced shift appears to have been something or other they didn't like. But anyway, U.S. holiday sales last November and December rose 8.2% in 2020 from the previous year, according to the National Retail Federation, the nation's largest retail trade group. The trade group predicts 2021 could shatter that record, growing between 8.5% and 10.5%. What started as a temporary measure driven by the pandemic is now the new standard, according to Target CEO Brian Cornell, one that recognizes our ability to deliver on our guests' holiday wishes both within and well beyond store hours. The new standard at Target, on top, very healthy sales last year, could push other retailers to follow its path. Target began opening its stores on Thanksgiving a decade ago, joining other retailers in kicking off Black Friday sales a day early and creating a holiday rush after the turkey feast. Many did so to compete with Amazon.com and other rising threats. But the shift seemed to merely cannibalize Black Friday sales, and big retailers suffered some blowback from critics who said thousands of people were forced to work rather than being with family during the holiday. Some stores and malls, like the Mall of America in Minnesota, ended the practice and remained closed on Thanksgiving. Some, like Costco and Nordstrom, never opened their doors during the holidays, saying they wanted to respect the holiday. Thanksgiving had historically not been a big sales day overall, not one of the top 10, because stores usually open their doors around 5 p.m. anyway. However, it's been a big online sales day, so Target and others will not be open on Thanksgiving. So that is a good thing, I believe. I'm glad to know that there's recognizing that there's time to settle down and time to rest and relax and time to reflect on all of our many blessings. We do have many of them, don't we? Too many to count on one hand and two hands. Well, I know the news stories get a little boisterous and a little obnoxious sometimes and a little boring, but for the real story of what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, I want to share with you. Did you know that Kyle Rittenhouse's dad, grandma, and friends all live in Kenosha, less than 25 minutes from where he resided with his mom part-time in Illinois? If you didn't know that, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that Kyle put out a dumpster fire that was being rolled down to a gas station to blow it up with people all around it? Did you know that? If you didn't, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that the police were told to stand down as businesses were destroyed? Yep. Did you know that the president had offered the National Guard to help in Kenosha, but the governor refused? If you didn't know that, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that Joseph Rosenbaum knocked him down twice and then attempted to kick him with lethal force to the head and also chased him with a chain? Did you know that Huber had hit him in the head twice with a skateboard? If you didn't, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that Gage Grosskreutz, a felon in possession of a firearm, pointed his gun at Kyle's head first, as he admitted on the stand? If you didn't know that, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that in the state of Wisconsin it is legal for Kyle to have a gun even at 17, which was why the gun charge was dismissed? If you didn't know that, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that Kyle did not cross state lines with a gun? The Raffle gun owner did, and as he was legally permitted to do. If you didn't, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that Rosenbaum dated women with sons so he could sodomize them and was convicted 5 times for this? If you didn't, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that Anthony Huber kidnapped and suffocated women and was convicted twice for that? If you didn't, you're listening to the wrong media outlet. Did you know that Grosskreutz was a convicted burglar with an assault on his record and was not allowed to possess a firearm, yet he had one to point at Kyle's head? If you didn't know all that, you're listening to the wrong media. The left-leaning media didn't tell you all of those things. All they wanted to say that Kyle Rittenhouse was a racist. He was a white supremacist. He was all these bad things because it did not fit their agenda. It did not fit the agenda they want to perceive out and toss out to America to swallow up. If you didn't hear all that about Kyle Rittenhouse, you were listening to the wrong newscast, because he is not the villain the national left-leaning media try to paint him to be. Now that the sentence has been, or the case has been thrown out and found not guilty, all the negative-leaning talk show folks who pretend they know what they're talking about been critical of the decision, such as the Whoopi Goldbergs and all those folks on those talk shows, and this woman on MSNBC. I don't even know her name, but she's always critical of anything conservatives do. If they want to talk about something and criticize something, which they don't in this case, why don't they talk about and criticize Nancy Pelosi? House Speaker Nancy Pelosi put out a statement Saturday, the Transgender Day of Remembrance, she called it, in which she lamented the unthinkable violence has been visited on transgenders and applauded President Joe Biden for ensuring that transgender service members can once again openly serve our country. Transgender service people can once again openly serve our country. Each Transgender Day of Remembrance, our nation comes together to honor the countless transgender Americans who have suffered unthinkable violence or have been brutally murdered simply for who they are, she said. And under the fearless leadership of President Biden, we have secured stronger protections in health care for transgender Americans and reversed the shameful damage done by the previous administration to ensure our transgender service members can once again openly serve our country, said Nancy Pelosi. Transgender service people can once again serve openly with our country. And she wants to give them praise and glory, because these are people that swear and declare that God made a mistake when he created them. Nancy Pelosi released the statement in honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance. I didn't know there was such a creature, but this year in particular, she said, our transgender neighbors or loved ones have endured a heartbreaking and accelerating campaign of violence and persecution. Children targeted by a tide of hateful legislation. Women of color suffering a spike of horrific attacks. Proudly, Democrats have long stood shoulder to shoulder with LGBTQXYZ activists to advance the cause of full equality for all. With our monumental Equality Act, which has twice passed the House and we are fighting to enact it into law, Democrats will ensure that no American faces discrimination in the workplace or any place. And under the fearless leadership of President Biden, she keeps saying that, under the fearless leadership of President Biden, we have secured stronger protections in health care for transgender Americans and reversed the shameful damage done by the previous administration to ensure our transgender service members can once again openly serve our country. Let us renew our vow to honor the beautiful souls we have lost, ensure our transgender communities feel seen, heard, and represented, and never relent until every person is free to live freely as their authentic selves. Well, I don't think anyone ought to be ridiculed and scorned, laughed at because of who they think they are, but we certainly don't need to glorify the folks who have that kind of attitude that they think God made a mistake. And they certainly don't deserve any special privilege and special rights when we have folks that are hungry and starving and no places to live, and they don't get anything, but yet we're holding up the banner and waving the flag for these folks who are on the other side saying, oh, well, today I feel like I'm somebody else. God was wrong when he made me a man, and I want to get respect for that. There's a mistake of thought out there, folks. All right, enough of that. 20 minutes before 9 o'clock, My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up, 9:05. You know, Florida, I love Florida. Haven't been in a long, long time, but Florida is now reporting the lowest amount of COVID-19 cases per capita in the country. Yeah. Breitbart reported that as of Monday, the state continued to report the lowest case rate in the U.S., standing at 7 per 100,000, with the daily average of COVID-19 cases at 1,437, a decrease of 2% over the last 2 weeks. However, states run by Democrats that lock down for extended periods of time are struggling with higher case rates than Florida's. For example, Michigan, led by Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer, is reporting a daily average of 8,780 daily cases. This translated into 88 cases per capita and a 78% increase over the last 2 weeks. The state's health leaders last week urged everyone 2 years and older to wear a mask, even if they have already been vaccinated. Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul's New York is now reporting a daily average of 6,901 cases, or 35 per capita, representing a 63% increase in the last 2 weeks. Pennsylvania, led by Democrat Governor Tom Wolf, was locked down for months and is now also seeing a high daily average of 5,903 cases, translating into 46 per 100,000 and a 43% increase over the last 2 weeks. On the other hand, Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis noted this fact Thursday at a press conference where he signed legislation combating vaccine mandates, saying that, quote, they don't want to tell you this, but Florida, for like almost a month, has been either the lowest or one of the lowest COVID in the entire country. You see it surging in other parts. The corporate media, they don't like it when it surges in other parts. They only like it when it surges in places like they don't like. But Florida has the lowest rate of any state, and they're the most wide open of any state. What does that say? You don't know? Well, it's 8:42, and I'll be back in a minute.
Shop like Santa this holiday season and stuff your stocking with savings from Bark Mobile. If your gift list calls for a new phone under the tree, how about a free LG Stylo 6 when you switch? Already got a phone that jingles your bells? Bring your own device and save $100. From unlimited data for just $35 per month per line with 2 lines on autopay to a $50 Fanatics e-code with the Unlimited Plus plan, nobody does holiday savings like Bark. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
If you care about your health and conditioning, you'll be happy to know about the Black Friday sale at Lifestyle Wellness and Spa. New members can purchase a paid-in-full 1-year gold membership for only $2.99. That includes all amenities such as the pool, hot tub, sauna, classes, and more. 1-year silver membership is only $1.99, limited to weights and machines. Lifestyle Wellness and Spa is safe and clean. This is an excellent Black Friday sale, and you should join up soon or make a gift for someone you care about. Lifestyle accepts silver sneakers and silver fit also. And remember, you can join Lifestyle for just $1 and no dues until January 2022. Contact them at 828-248-2947 or check us out on Facebook. That special Black Friday deal is a really good deal, folks. If you ever thought about getting back involved in some exercise and getting your body fixed up, that's a good deal. So check with them over their Lifestyle about how you can get one of those or maybe give it as a gift to someone. Listen, the Immaculate Conception Church in Forest City, 1024 West Main Street, having a Christmas baked goods and frozen entrees sale and gift basket raffle December the 4th starting at 9 o'clock. They got a bird lover's basket. They got a breakfast tray. They've got Christmas basket. They got family fun night. You can pamper yourself with gift certificates. It's all really great gifts. Tickets are $3 each ticket, or 6 tickets for $15, and each ticket for any basket of your choosing. So you contact them. All proceeds go toward Immaculate Conception Church debt reduction. So check with them at 1024 West Main Street, Forest City. It's going to be December the 4th, 9 a.m., starting at 9 a.m., so go check them out.
The holidays are fast approaching, and now's the perfect time to visit a new business, Different Times Mercantile. Owners Sheila and BC Deck offer new, old, and a little in-between merchandise. The store is full of antiques, collectibles, brand new clothing fashions, glassware, framed art, home decor, wreaths, holiday and seasonal, unique gifts, and jewelry. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sundays, 1 to 5. Stop into Different Times Mercantile, 548 South Main Street in Rutherford. Find your timeless treasures only at Different Times Mercantile.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford. Gregory's Original.
It was 8:46, and coming up 9:05, My Great America with Jim and Butch. Hey, we need Thanksgiving. It's coming up. I'm happy that we're going to be having it coming up on Thursday, and I'm glad about that for a lot of reasons. It's time to slow down a little bit and reflect back on so many blessings that we get every day, every moment of our lives. My friend Dr. Glenn Mollett, I refer to him quite often. He sends me his blog from time to time. And let me share some of the things he says about America needs Thanksgiving. America has been through a tough time. A national election separated friends and family, divided churches, and took over our media. We've been intoxicated with poisonous rhetoric and toxic street gatherings that led to more division, injuries, and even death. Americans horrifically viewed the murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer and said we aren't going to take that anymore. Over 762,200 people have died from COVID-19 in America. Over 47 million of us have been sick. Families who have buried loved ones don't need convincing about the realities of COVID-19. Americans who have spent weeks in hospital intensive care units know they are fortunate to be alive. However, in the midst of America's pandemic nightmare, Americans have debated with each other over vaccinations, masks, school and business closures. We have watched our businesses suffer. Our government's finances have been further strained and supply money to hurting unemployed people. Americans watched our departure from Afghanistan in horror. We argued among ourselves about how we should have left, the timing of our departure, and whether we should have left at all. We continue to struggle with racism in America, they say. People who have experienced it know the reality of it. At all levels of society, we must rise above any and all words or actions that denigrate others. We continue to have other crises impacting our nation, people pouring over our border illegally, an ongoing drug epidemic, homelessness, rising cost of medical treatment and insurance, unaffordable college tuition, unaffordable housing, and unaffordable and sometimes unavailable groceries. Americans are now facing the fire of growing inflation. Groceries are becoming even more unaffordable for poor Americans. The cost of living adjustments coming for America's retirees in January, which is reported to be 5.9%, might buy a small bag of groceries maybe. America has gone through a tough time. Maybe better said, we're going through a tough time. This is why we desperately need Thanksgiving. In November 1621, after the Pilgrims' first corn harvest proved successful, Governor William Bradford organized a celebratory feast and invited a group of the fledgling colony's Native Americans allies, including the Wampanoag chief Massasoit. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correct, Massasoit. Now remembered as America's first Thanksgiving, although the Pilgrims themselves may not have used the term at the time. The festival lasted for 3 days. The first brutal winter, most of the colonies remained on board the Mayflower ship, where they suffered from exposure, scurvy, and outbreaks of contagious disease. Only half of the Mayflower's original passengers and crew lived to see their first New England spring. In March, the remaining settlers moved ashore, where they received an astonishing visit from a member of the Abenaki tribe who greeted them in English. Several days later, he returned with another Native American, Squanto. Squanto taught the Pilgrims, weakened by malnutrition and illness, how to cultivate corn, extract sap from maple trees, catch fish in the rivers and avoid poisonous plants. He's also helped the settlers forge an alliance with the Wampanoag, a local tribe which would endure for more than 50 years and tragically remains one of the sole examples of harmony between European colonists and Native Americans. The early settlers who came to America suffered hardships that few Americans can comprehend. In the midst of so much death, sickness, and starvation, they found a way to stop and express gratitude. The friendship and humanitarian aid given to them by Native Americans stand out as to what really makes America great. We all need to learn from the first Thanksgiving. This year may we all take time to be grateful and do something to help each other. What a great line from Dr. Glenn Mollett. And let's hope and pray the left never wants to take away Thanksgiving as a day. And I have an article here somewhere. I'll have to search that out. But they want to change the name of Thanksgiving because they don't like the way the Indians were treated, they say. The Indians did a lot for Americans. See if I can find that right quick. Maybe not. I'll have to maybe hold that over. But we need Thanksgiving. We need to remember our history. When we start erasing history, start taking down all the things that remind us of our past history, then we have a tendency to want to repeat it again. Let's don't forget our history. Let's don't forget that first Thanksgiving. Read about it in history. Read what the actual facts of it really is. History is so important to us for us to remember. Alan Dershowitz. You remember Alan Dershowitz, don't you? He's a liberal Democrat attorney. He said to Newsmax, racism for media to mock Rittenhouse's tears. You remember that. Rittenhouse cried a couple of times, and the media just made fun of him. It was racism, pure and simple, for members of the liberal media to mock Kyle Rittenhouse for crying on the stand when testifying about the events that led to the shootings in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz said on Saturday. The famed lawyer speaks the truth in many cases. He wants to bring legal action against CNN for his reporting on the case. You can watch yourself crying on TV, and then you see these jerks attacking him and saying it was staged, Dershowitz said. Imagine if it was a black man who was a member of Black Lives Matter, who had killed in self-defense, who cried on the witness stand. None of those people would have mocked him. It's racism, pure and simple. There's no way of getting around it, Dershowitz said. That's not what CNN does, he said. That's not what many others in the media do, judging people on the quality of their character, not on the color of the skin, as Martin Luther King's philosophy was of judging people on the quality of the character, not on the color of the skin. That's not what CNN does, or MSNBC, or ABC. That's not what many of the others in the media do. Everything is racial politics, except when it's not racial politics for them. He pointed out the case in Georgia where the three men are charged with murdering Ahmaud Arbery, a black man, noting the defense lawyer. Black pastors, including Reverend Al Sharpton and Reverend Jesse Jackson from the courtroom, condemned it. It's not racial politics, except when the lawyers in Georgia point out that the fact that the minister who is coming to the courtroom is black. Dershowitz said, oh, my God, that's racism. You can't mention a person's race, but you must mention a person's race when it helps the narrative. It's so hypocritical, it is bizarre, end quote. Dershowitz has filed his own lawsuit against CNN, accusing the network of defamation, and said he has offered to share his research against the network with Rittenhouse lawyers. I support any lawsuit that he tries to bring against the intellectual thugs at CNN who persistent lying about the case. If you listen to CNN, this is a young man who came across state lines carrying an illegal gun and caused a confrontation and never had anything in his life endangered. All of those are lies, and they keep repeating them over and over and over again, even after the verdict. You just cannot believe anything you see in CNN or CNBC or MSNBC. It's just scandal. This is a liberal attorney talking about the liberal media. He sees it. Why can't others see it? He acknowledged that Rittenhouse will likely be sued, but I don't think there's much of a chance that the alleged victims here who were found by a jury not to have been victims essentially can successfully sue him. I think the next step is going to be Rittenhouse suing and making these commentators accountable. And he said, I'm willing to share my expertise with him to see that that happens. If one liberal attorney, Harvard emeritus professor, can see that, why can't Joy Behar and Anderson Cooper and all those other folks there on the liberal, why can't they see it? Why does it have to always be racist? That's a word I hope I don't have to hear anymore after this year. Well, it's 8:55, and I'm going to get out of here now and make a little room for My Great America with Jim and Butch. All the things that are going on out there that are bad, there's still a lot of good things going on in America, and that's what we like to talk about from 9:05 till 9:30. Be back with you tomorrow bright and early. I hope you'll be with us, and we'll have one more day before Thanksgiving. I'll see you then. So long, everybody.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The jury will soon be deliberating in the case of 3 white men who shot and killed black jogger Ahmaud Arbery in Brunswick, Georgia. They say it was in self-defense. The prosecution says they were the ones pursuing the 25-year-old who was unarmed. ABC's Steve Osinsami has been there.
The 3 men are hoping jurors believe that they were trying to make a citizen's arrest under then Georgia law, even though police report that Arbery is never seen stealing anything at this neighborhood construction site, never living up to the suspicions of the 3 men.
The man accused of ramming his SUV into a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, is charged with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Daryl Brooks is accused of killing 5 people and injuring more than 40 others.
3 of the women killed were members of the Dancing Grannies, ranging in age from 52 to 81 years old. The youngest, Tamara Durand, was dancing with the group for the first time. Her husband remembering her as a vibrant, loving, and warm woman who we all miss deeply already. The Dancing Grannies put out this statement: our group was doing what they loved, performing in front of crowds in a parade, putting smiles on faces of all ages, filling them with joy and happiness.
ABC's Alex Perez in Waukesha. Among those hospitalized, 6 children who are still in intensive care. Trying to lower gas prices, President Biden is set to release a stockpile of oil later today.
The president today is going to announce that he is tapping into these oil reserves, the strategic oil reserves. 50 million barrels is what we're hearing he's going to release. The presidents in this country have only released this emergency supply a handful of times in recent decades.
ABC Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega. A lot of people expected to fill up their tanks this week as they travel for Thanksgiving. The airport's also crowded.
So it's going to be about twice as busy as it was in 2020, pretty close to where we were in 2019 for Thanksgiving.
Ava Dorian, an economist with the flight search site Hopper. You're listening to ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Investigators this morning looking for the cause of a home explosion overnight in Flint, Michigan. 3 people are missing, 2 more in the hospital. There are reports the explosion was felt miles away. Warnings from the jury deliberating in the civil lawsuit brought against organizers of the so-called Unite the Right rally 4 years ago in Charlottesville, Virginia. They might not be able to come to a unanimous decision. 9 people are suing the white nationalist organizers of the rally over the injuries that they suffered. Another lawsuit after the surge at that concert in Houston that left 10 people dead. ABC's Daria Albinger says now 2 people who work security are going to court.
Samuel and Jackson Bush, an uncle and nephew, say they were hired the morning of the concert.
I was trying to help out as much as I could, and I wound up getting hurt.
Samuel Bush says he broke his right hand and injured his back. Jackson Bush says he suffered shoulder and back pain plus emotional trauma.
It was because I was hurting so much, but it was like, dang, I keep begging the fans, I'm like, can I please help you out? Can I please help you out? And they didn't want to be helped. They wanted to see Travis.
The Bush's attorney, Larry Taylor, says they'll be looking into why the security companies weren't prepared. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Researchers now say lobsters can feel pain. And it's not just lobsters. A new study showing crabs, octopi, and shrimp can all also feel pain. The British study could change animal protection laws in the UK. This is ABC News.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Expect a lot of sunshine heading into the afternoon with high pressure in control. We're going to stay bright today with a lot of sunshine, but those temperatures are going to be on the chilly side, only climbing into the mid-40s and lower 50s for today, so definitely keep those puffy coats with you throughout the entire day. Overnight will fall into the low to mid-20s with lighter wind speeds around and mostly clear skies. We're going to cool off quickly. We do have highs warming up tomorrow into the low to mid-50s with dry conditions on tap on Thursday. Meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood. We've warmed up now to 36. We got out of the freezer locker an hour ago. Now in 36, warming all the way up to 52 for a daytime high, but wind gusting to about 13 miles per hour. It's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood all week long, all the way through first of next week. We can enjoy this beautiful fall weather, and we hope you indeed will do that. It's 9:05 here at WCAB Rutherford.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. It's always a pleasure to have you in the Blue Room.
It's great to have you in the Blue Room, too, Jim, and you got that blue sweater on. I've got a blue shirt on, and there's something a little different about this shirt.
Yes, I like that. Freight Works, Transportation, and Logistics.
You know what? I was asking this morning, I was asking myself, Butch, when is the last time you wore a shirt that had any kind of monogram name on it? And I don't remember. It may have been when I was a camp counselor at the Triple R Ranch in Chesapeake, Virginia. It may have been ARA Food Services when I had my short-lived career as a pot washer at Riverside Hospital in Newport News, Virginia. But I honestly don't remember that I've ever worn shirts, particularly one as nice as this. Mm-hmm. And this says, of course, Freight Works Transport. I have the incredible opportunity, it's a real joy, to, among other things, try to help bring some communication strategies and efforts to Freight Works, which of course is located on Poors Ford Road, fast-growing trucking and logistics enterprise.
Amazing.
Right here in Rutherford County, and we're just looking forward to everything God's doing at that company in the days ahead. And of course, there's a whole supply chain debate and all of the news stories coming out on that, empty shelves and the like, is putting on the center stage again, Jim, just the importance of our trucking enterprise in this country, trucking and logistics. It's one of many things, particularly in the season, it's one of many things that we often just take for granted.
If trucks don't move, we don't eat.
Right. I mean, that's the bottom line. If trucks don't move, we don't eat. And I'm going to have the privilege this afternoon to interview the head. She's a real pioneer of a group called Women in Trucking. And about 8% of the 3.5 million professional truck drivers in America are women. And it's going to be an exciting opportunity. And it looks like if the logistics of it work out, our own Rutherford County, Bud Byer, will be a guest on Life by the Mile, which is the name of the podcast. And if you're interested in human interest stories, in the spirit of what we do here, we believe this afternoon we're going to have the opportunity to record a broadcast with Bud Byer. He was telling me yesterday, Jim, and of course, tell us real quickly who he is.
Bud Byers is a tradition here, by the way, in Rutherford County. Veteran, in service. Everybody knows Bud Byers in Ellenboro, and his son, of course, Philip Byers. Everybody knows Philip Byers, and he's a good friend of mine and good friend of yours, and we talk a lot about politics and things that are going on in the county.
He is just, the word is inimitable. There's just nobody else quite like him, and he'll come in here and he'll say, Butch, I got some data for you. He's got all of the boating data and trends and patterns, but many people don't know, and we'll have the opportunity, I pray this afternoon, on the podcast, Life by the Mile. And by the way, you can just go to lifebythemile.com. We've got a blog there that I write. We've got 2 episodes that we do every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you'll find some interesting fare there. For example, one of the recent podcasts was titled Millions of Miles, 250 Pounds, and 6 Playful Ferrets. So you can go in and listen to that couple that we interviewed. But Bud, for 40 years, was a driver for Yellow Freight up in Charlotte.
Yes.
And did runs to Baltimore. I think he said his last runs in the later part of his career were to Orlando. But, you know, he has a distinguished career that he had there. He came out of the military, decided he wanted to provide for his family, went into trucking, and he told me that for 40 years he traveled over 5 million miles, and he didn't have one chargeable accident.
That's that great, isn't it?
And so he's got great stories about, you know, he even said to me that he met, I guess, and had some conversations with Jimmy Hoffa's son.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was a Teamster. So I'm not quite sure what kind of stories that we'll hear, but we'll hear some great ones this afternoon. And again, if you're interested in human interest stories and have some interest in knowing about the folks that are helping provide all of the supplies that we need in this nation. You know, it's not just nameless and faceless. You'll hear some interesting stories if you go to lifebythemile.com. It's a twice-a-week podcast.
You mentioned your interview with the lady who started Women in Trucking.
Yes.
I would be interested in finding out about the husbands and wives that drive. Across.
Yes.
There are many of them.
Right, and we actually want, the one that I mentioned, the podcast that I mentioned, was a husband and wife team, and it just so happens that this particular husband and wife team have 6 ferrets that they travel with inside the cab. There are folks with pets, folks that came out of culinary schools and cook inside, you know, these new trucks that they have. Of course, FreightWorks has an order for some new Peterbilt trucks. We can get the semiconductors in that a lot of people have been talking about in the news. That's going to help upgrade their fleet. But it's just very interesting, and you know I love to learn. Mm-hmm. And so and you know what, people will say, well, Butch, tell me about how much, you know, how did you learn about all this? And the answer to the question is, I didn't know anything about trucking and logistics. So every podcast that we have is an opportunity for me to have professional truck drivers, men and women, solos and teams, let me know about that rich, kind of under the surface, so important to our country, service that happens every single day.
Well, if a FreightWorks driver and truck goes by on the highway and some kid's down on the side of the road and pump his arm up and down, but they blow the horn?
I don't know the answer. You know, I'll have to ask Andy Kidd, who's the safety director. I want to be real careful not to answer loosely. I used to do that.
I did too.
In our Ford, we had a white Ford Falcon station wagon that Kenneth, my dad, and Joyce, our mom, and the 4 of us children, Becky, Butch, Kim, and Mark would be in that. Of course, I'm of the age, Jim, that I remember when we didn't have seat belts.
Yes.
And those dashes were like hard metal. And my brother and I, he's 6 years younger, but I used to pull him into the very back of that Ford Falcon station wagon, and we'd sit there and wave at people, and when trucks would go by, we would do this, and they would toot their horn. That was a kinder, gentler day, wasn't it?
It was
in many respects. You know, folks, you can be praying for me, and Jim, we pray for each other. That's one of the things that we're committed to do. I've got this upper respiratory thing that's been happening for a while. And I had a dear friend, Gary Brown. He's an incredible, handy person. And but anyway, he walked up to me at church, and he handed me some of these. You know what these are?
Fisherman's
Friend.
Yeah.
Right. And so I wanted to know a little bit about the history of Fisherman's Friend. Because,
sure you did. Sure you did.
I did. I did. And so what I learned is that Fisherman's Friend, and by the way, they're very aromatic. When you're near someone that has one, it really helps just clear things out. Of course, they're not paying me or you to say this, but it was created in 1865 by James Lofthouse, and he was a pharmacist in a coastal town in England, and it was first as a liquid, and then it was lozenges, and it was specifically, Jim, to help deep sea fishermen deal with the sore throats and coughs that they got from being out on that water. Now, until the 1960s, the pungent sweets were only sold locally by the company Lofthouse of Fleetwood. But Fisherman's Friend was created in 1865 by James Lofthouse, a pharmacist in the coastal town, and then, of course, it was liquid, then lozenges, and it helped, and it just kind of took off. It helps with respiratory problems. It's become a favorite, and I think because they're so strong, it probably reinforces this is really helping you. But it's helped me. So anyway, that's the history of Fisherman's Friend.
Good. I hope that helps you.
Well, and we'll see over the course of the day. You know, Jim, I was listening to you this morning, and I was thinking to myself again how important words are. Mm-hmm. And we live in a day and age, and of course, My Great America, when it was birthed, and we believe God put it on our hearts to do this, it was birthed to try to be positive and encouraging. And you know, in the over a year now that we've been doing these programs, Jim, we've watched as the marketplace has just gotten darker and darker, more angry, more vitriolic, more division, more despair. And in the midst of all of that, it's so important for us to remember what it says in the New Testament, Matthew 12:37. And my pastor at my church, Word of Faith Fellowship, was recently reminding us of this, and I've really been trying to take this to heart with God's help. In Matthew 12:37, it says, "For by your words you will be justified and acquitted of the guilt of sin, and by your words you will be condemned and sentenced." Our words are incredibly powerful, and we believe that there will come a day, there will come a day when the books of our lives will be opened, and the words we've spoken, or the words God's put in our heart to speak that are not spoken, that we will give an account for that. Matthew 12 makes that very clear. 1 Peter 4:11 tells us, "Whoever speaks is to do so as one who speaks the very words of God." We're called to be the oracles of God. So in a world that is so loose and so reckless, so angry, so divisive, so vitriolic, so much bellicosity, so many people that are self-aggrandizing, so many people that are just angry and want to spew out words, they need to remember again that whoever speaks in any setting is to do so as one who speaks the oracles of God. Now, I did a little research, Jim, and in the course of a lifetime, people, they estimate, will speak about 860,341,500 words. Now, what's interesting is the average person will speak the equivalent of the entire text of the complete 20-volume Oxford English Dictionary. It's 20 big volumes, about 14 and a half times.
Goodness.
It's about 15,000 words a day, between 15 and 16,000 words a day. And God is telling us that the words that we speak matter. So I really have been taking more and more to heart, Butch, are the words you're speaking right now words that are words spoken as an oracle of God? You know, we're taught, and it's a standard in our community of faith, that we speak truly, and we live truly, and we love as Jesus loved. And so the dashboard of my life more and more, I want to be one where I'm saying, Jesus, help me to know that the words that I'm speaking are your words. And you know what? When you look at places like Congress, you look at our senators, our congressmen, congresswomen, one would hope that they would remember that we're called to speak words that are words of life. And Jim, it's one of the things that you do, that you do so often. You're trying to bring life and truth in the morning, but it's got to be hard sometimes when you just see one negative news story after another.
Yeah, I'm reminded of a little thing that we said as kids, which the more we grow older, we realize it's not true. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But they can.
It's so interesting that you said this, because our pastor just referenced this in our service on Sunday. That is a complete misnomer.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, a 6-year-old boy that has an angry father who says to him, "You'll never amount to anything."
Sad.
Those are curses that are put on people. So, folks, today, as I'm putting a reminder and a check in my own spirit, put a check on your heart and ask the question, am I speaking the words that God has called me to? Now, Jim, part of the problem, a major problem that we face as a nation, is that we don't read God's Word. Yeah. We don't read God's Word. American Bible Society, along with several other organizations, did a survey in 2021, and what they found is that 11% of Americans read their Bible every day.
11%.
That's it.
That's a shame.
That's 11%. And what's really interesting is that trends in reading habits over 4 years have showed that the majority of Americans never read their Bible. And so, as we so often reinforce on My Great America with Jim and Butch, the foundations of our country were built on God's Word. How can we ever look with amazement at a country that's teetering from one side of the road to the other, realizing that the moorings have been pulled up when the foundations are being destroyed? You know, we have refused to recognize the ancient landmarks. And then we ask the question, what happened? What happened? And Jim, even in the midst of all of the debates that we have with social movements, you know what's changed? It used to be that the social movements in our country, abolitionists, women's suffrage, they were rooted in scriptural reasons. And today what we have are people saying, I'm going to demonstrate for racial equality, so I'm going to go into a Walgreens, break the windows, and steal things. That is not at all what American history, as it relates to social protest, is all about. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes, with your permission, and reinforce this by reading a little bit of history. When we look at the history of the American Revolution, the abolitionist movement, the women's suffrage movement, and the civil rights movement, we discover that when a monumental fight for freedom in America and justice was at hand, faith in God was there to strengthen the activists. This is what's so different about activism today. We also see, unfortunately, that too often the staunchest opposition to any of these movements also came from sectors of the religious establishments of the day. Let me give you some example. The women's right movement in America was largely birthed out of the ranks of the abolitionist movement to end slavery. In 1848, at the Seneca Falls Convention in New York, activists including Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony began a 70-year struggle to secure the right to vote for women. Nearly all of the major leaders of the suffrage movement came from a Christian background, you know, encouraging women's voting rights. Women who believed that God created women as equals to men, and thus they demanded that the same rights guaranteed to men in the Constitution be extended to women. But it grew out of their understanding of God's view of people, not their own view of people. Now, some of these women included Lucretia Mott. She was an evangelical Quaker. She helped found the Anti-Slavery Society in 1833. Angelina Grink, who presented female anti-slavery petitions to the Massachusetts state legislature, as well as Lucy Stone. Not only did many church ministers oppose it, but they were also opposed to women owning property, getting university educations, and competing with men for wages. Most of the activists suffered mistreatment, were subject to arrest, and many were jailed. However, during the beginning of the 20th century, women's suffrage gained in popularity as more and more people began to realize that there was no biblical support for inequality between the sexes. Finally, President Woodrow Wilson urged Congress to pass what became, when it was ratified in 1920, the 19th Amendment, which said, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex." But the birth of it, Jim, was an understanding of what Scripture said about God's view of his creation. His creation. And so what has happened is activism has taken on a completely different orientation, particularly as a Marxist, more socialist infection has come into it, where there's sort of this sense of anything is justified to support my opinion. It's not anchored in the truth that's unshakable. We have a nation that doesn't read the Bible.
That's right.
We have a nation that doesn't understand its history. We have a nation that is very focused on its comfort more than its character. Folks, it's very clear in Scripture, God is interested in our spiritual state. He's interested in our character, not our comfort. Not our comfort. And when you put all of these things together and mix it together, you come out with a toxic brew that just inflames the riots, despair, sadness, and anarchy that we're seeing in so many cities.
And we're seeing that today, so prevalent. In everyday news story, we see that happening.
And you know what? We don't have time to go into it at this point, but even the civil rights movement, you know, the people on the front lines of that, when those words were uttered by Dr. Martin Luther King, I look to a day when people will be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. He was, in fact, referencing a biblical foundation and unshakable truth that all people are created equal. And because we don't have people that read the Bible, understand God's standard, embrace it, you know, and have a lot of people that just aren't born again. Yeah. In the sense of what Scripture says is the transformation, the indwelling of the Holy Spirit to help us and empower us to make positive choices. It's no wonder that we have a nation that is on life support in so many ways.
And there's really no excuse for folks not reading the Scripture because it's so prevalent in various, we can carry it around on our telephones even anymore. We could look up verses of Scripture, and there are many publications now that use the verse of Scripture that I think God has implied in somebody's heart to put that. Now, I go to Mike Huckabee's column all the time, and Mike Huckabee always has a verse for the day. And I think somewhere in Huckabee's mind, God has placed that verse on his heart to place on his blog to help somebody like me when I go to it. But that's just what I need today.
Exactly. And listen, for those of you that have not opened your Bible today, I want to encourage you. You will find life and health and hope and conviction and healing and deliverance. Remember these verses. These are some that I read this morning. John 6:44 says, "No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him, giving him the desire to come to me, and I will raise him up from the dead on that last day." Or Romans 10:17, "So faith comes by hearing what is told, and what is heard comes by the preaching of the message concerning Christ." Don't go to your self-help books. Don't go to Barnes & Noble trying to figure out the next great book to read. You know what? The number of words in some of the popular novels that are out there are approximately what you find in God's Word. I promise you, it's alive and active, sharper than any two-edged sword. And what's so great is even secular archaeologists. I was reading a story recently, and this was so interesting. New data shows that the copper mines of the Timnah Valley in Israel were, in fact, from the time of King Solomon, contrary to prior assumptions. With 10 date pits and 1 olive pit, researchers at Tel Aviv University have determined that Israel's Timnah Valley copper mines are from the time of the Bible's King Solomon. It's so interesting. One of the lead archaeologists who doesn't believe in God, the article in this Smithsonian magazine was saying that he was finding himself troubled because his personal beliefs were being contradicted by the emerging biblical archaeology. The more they dig in the soil in Israel, the more they're finding that this is more than a book. The stories are absolutely confirmed. And so, Jim, as we go into a season where a lot of folks think they're doing God a favor by showing up at church just a handful of times every year. And, you know, I've been around the block enough. I was actually a youth pastor at a church. A lot of people don't know that. In one season, I used to do these evangelistic Bible studies to a community trailer park called Aragona, where a lot of the parents, the fathers, were seamen on ships. They'd be gone, so there were a lot of troubled children. I had my car stolen one time by some of the children in my youth group. That's a different story. But, you know, the point of all of this is that we need to have a personal relationship with Jesus. And absent that, we're not going to have the strength and the power. Jim, I don't care what your position is, a truck driver, a congressman, president of the United States, owner of a radio station, or somebody that's just trying to work out his salvation in fear and trembling. We're not going to have the power to navigate the days ahead unless we have the indwelling power of Jesus. And I felt like it was so important as we go into the next couple of days just to remind ourselves of all the things that I'm thankful for. I am thankful that by an infinite stoop and condescension, God sent his only Son, only begotten Son, to this earth to reconcile us to him. But you don't back into that, and you don't say, well, my family's got pew number 4 with a brass plaque, and we've been there for 7 generations in First Baptist Church or First Methodist Church or whatever church it might be. It only comes when you acknowledge that Jesus is the Lord of your life. And so the greatest gift that I can give this week is just to encourage people, get into God's Word. And as you do that, He will illuminate everything in you that needs to change. He's doing that with me every day.
And we'll find so many things to be thankful for as we do that.
Right.
I mentioned that Thursday, the program we preempted. It is a holiday, and we're working on a skeleton crew here. And My Great America will return next Tuesday.
Great.
Have a great week.
You too, Jim.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.
Expect a lot of sunshine heading into the afternoon with high pressure and control. We're going to stay bright today with a lot of sunshine.